What I'm about to say will surprise you, because in just a moment, I'm going to predict exactly, to the minute, what you will be doing in the next few days. And after I walk you through my unique investment technique that could change your weekly routine permanently, you'll understand why. For example, at 9:37 a.m. this Thursday, how would you like to receive a payment of $1,692.50 deposited directly into your account? And what would you say if the following week, this time at 11:09 a.m. sharp, you got another one? Better yet, what if I said that doing it takes a little under 10 minutes, less time than it takes to brew a pot of coffee? It's probably hard to believe right now, but as I'll explain in a moment, when you wake up on Thursday morning, you'll take a deep breath and click the button to log in to your investment account. And then a short time later, there it'll be, a fresh deposit of as much as $1,150, $1,692.50, or even $2,800. By the end of the month, you could very likely see a total of $6,770 in additional income deposited directly into your account by using this unexpected investment technique. Thousands of investors just like you are already using it to generate steady income, helping them live the life they want. Some use the additional income to cover living expenses. Others use it to fill in the corners of their retirement accounts. And a few put their money toward luxurious trips and amazing beach getaways. Howard T. from Los Angeles, California, sent me an email saying that he used some of this money to book a scuba diving trip to Fiji. How you spend your additional income is all up to you, once you learn how easy it really is. In many ways, using this investing technique feels like getting a salary. But instead of sweating away long hours in a stuffy office building, you're able to sit back and let your investment funds do all the work for you. I'll explain everything, exactly how this simple investment technique works, why it's so much better than traditional methods of investing, and what you need to do to earn your first paycheck using it. I urge you to pay attention, because you could earn a total of $101,550 in steady income if you collect these payments for a year. And if you stick it out for 5 years, it's enough time to build a small fortune of $507,750. I know this firsthand because I've been getting paychecks like this for almost 30 years. In fact, I built a $5.3 million fortune using techniques like the one I'm sharing today. Now I know $5.3 million may sound like a lot of money, and it is. Even now, it's hard for me to believe how much wealth I was able to accumulate. And if you find it hard to believe me, I'll show you my account statement in a moment. But here's the thing. Getting to that point didn't happen overnight. I earned a good amount of it by collecting consistent payments week after week. There was nothing get-rich-quick about it. Quite the opposite, really. Instead, this technique is based on a decades-old, tried-and-true practice that was common among pit traders on the exchange floor of the Chicago Board of Trade. I was lucky enough to learn it just as the age of these pit traders was ending due to computers and the internet, and I've been using it ever since. It is, quite simply, the most sensible way I've ever found to generate large amounts of investment income practically on demand. Dwight O. from Virginia Beach, Virginia, recently wrote in to share his thoughts on this technique. Quote, "Your investing technique is simply outstanding. I've been using it to make steady income for over 2 years now, but it wasn't always like this for me. I used to think trading regular stocks and bonds was the only way to build a fortune. You see, I'm what you might call a recovered stock trader. I traded stocks back in the late 1980s, so I can still remember what it's like to gnaw my fingernails off on trade after trade. And I certainly haven't forgotten the sinking feeling I'd get in the pit of my stomach when one of my holdings took a sudden nosedive, especially during the crash of 1987. I was lucky enough to escape with my skin intact, but I decided that I needed to find an alternative to traditional stock investing. There had to be something safer, more predictable, and less volatile. Something that could generate regular profits regardless of if the market was moving up or down. So for a while, I ignored investing and decided to become a lawyer. I earned a law degree from Columbia University and then joined a prestigious firm in Chicago. The hours were terrible and the work was tedious, but it felt good to earn a large salary. But as it turns out, my multi-million-dollar fortune wouldn't come from working inside my fancy law office. Instead, it was waiting for me out on the streets of the Windy City. One day, as I was walking in Chicago, I bumped into a group of burly men who were on their way back from happy hour. These guys were pit traders. I'm talking about the big guys who use fast hand signals in the pits of the Chicago Board of Trade. You should have seen these guys. The way they bumped shoulders and shoved each other trying to make trades was a far cry from working in my law office. We got to talking one day, and over time I became friends with a few of them. What I found amazing was that even though many of them didn't even have college degrees, they were able to make millions of dollars using a few easy-to-repeat trading techniques. They taught me a few of their secrets, and while I've refined them a bit over the years, they're the basis for almost every trade I make. Now, the digital trading revolution has made the pit trader obsolete today, and the floor they traded on back then isn't there anymore. But their technique has survived. It's just moved to the computer, and that means you can use it too. These days, you don't have to be a 250-pound guy with a notebook, a vest, and quick hands to make millions this way. All you need is a computer and some know-how. I should know, I was one of the very first investors to start using this technique online. I opened my trading account with $50,000, but today you can start with much less and still see amazing results. Just look here to see what I was able to do with that $50,000. As you can see, my account balance grew to $5,345,054.20. And to this day, I continue to build my nest egg using this predictable and consistent approach to building wealth. Trading this way is like having your own profit calendar, a calendar that allows you to actually schedule to the day gains like $1,100, $1,550, and $2,300 every single week. The exact amount of your payment changes from week to week, but overall it's averaged out to around $1,692.50. Best of all, when you make trades using this profit calendar, you don't have to put up with many losers. Unlike buy and hold strategies most people use, this approach is virtually immune to what the overall stock market is doing over long stretches. Plus, it doesn't tie up your cash for months on end. And even though not every trade we make is a winner, a built-in safety net protects your overall performance. That way, losses can't chip away much from the giant pile of income you'll be making. In fact, at last check, my success rate using this technique was over 85%. Are you starting to see why this is the best way to build a fortune in today's uncertain market? I wish I could say I'm the only one who knows this secret, but recently a few of the world's wealthiest investors have also caught on to its power. Even famous investors like Warren Buffett have created their own profit calendar. As you know, Buffett is notorious for making super safe investments. That's how he built one of the best investing track records of all time. But it might surprise you to know that he's used the same trading technique I'm using too. In fact, he's used it hundreds of times to earn massive amounts of income on demand. Billionaire George Soros trades like this as well. But thankfully, the mechanics of this trading method work about the same for everyone, whether you're a billionaire or an average Joe. I'd like to teach you how to use it starting this week. That's why I put together the presentation you're watching now. In a moment, I'll share the steps you can take to get your first weekly payment using this profit calendar. Profits just like these. I started sharing these same steps with a private group of self-directed investors back in 2011. Today, there are over 1,000 people in this group, and each one has access to my profit calendar to earn steady income almost every single week. In fact, many have earned more than $100,000 over the last few years. Like Roger D., who told me, quote, "I ended the year with a cash flow well over $100,000, which is just plain unbelievable," end quote. Roger is part of my informal $100,000 club. The club has become a fun way to celebrate the financial success of my followers, especially since many of these folks were complete beginners when they tried my investing approach for the first time. It takes a little time early on to get comfortable, but once you've done it once, it's a piece of cake. Wayne B. says it best, quote, "By using your profit calendar, my net worth has increased in value every year, even though I have to take out a significant amount every year to pay the bills. I would recommend Jim's service to anyone who is needing more income with limited risk," end quote. Today, I'd like to offer you the chance to join Roger, Chuck, and Wayne. But first, let me explain everything you need to know, so you'll be prepared with the details on how this technique works. I'll show you how it's like getting a paycheck, but instead of spending hours and hours working in the office, you're able to relax and let the profit calendar do the work instead. Soon, Thursdays will become your favorite day of the week. That's because every single week, on Thursday morning, I send an email based on my profit calendar with easy trading instructions any investor can follow.